Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another match reaction. Smash up the like, subscribe if you're new around here, all of that good stuff, and get your thoughts in the comments as always. And guys, it was a 5-star night at a very wet Stamford Bridge with Chelsea thrashing Ajax 5-1 to make it 2 wins from their first 3 games in the competition, and to keep those top 8 hopes alive as well, and a nice boost to our goal difference. I mean, it was a bit of a strange night, to be perfectly honest. It did feel more like a Conference League game than a Champions League game. Ajax, what it's worth, were absolutely shocking. Task was made that much easier by their early red card inside the first 20 minutes. But even if it stayed 11v11, we would have comfortably put them to the sword. Maresca was able to make 10 changes to the side, which beat Nottingham Forest on the weekend. Romeo Lavia, the only player retaining his place in the lineup. There were starts for Mark Guiu, starts for Estevao, starts for Gittens, and a start for Buonanotte as well in a youthful looking front four. And it was great because we were also able to give players plenty of rest. Caicedo was off at half-time. Enzo was off at half-time. Tosin went off at half-time. We were able to give youngsters like Reggie Rolsh a run out in the second half. And truth be told, other than not keeping a clean sheet for a clumsy foul in the box by Tosin, which gave the penalty away, it really was the perfect night. Was the football electric? No, not particularly. Was it an outstanding performance? Not really. But we put the team to the sword. We scored 5 goals, and it was a record-breaking night for Chelsea's youngsters. Twice the club's youngest scorer in Champions League history was broken. Mark Guiu opened the scoring, and he set the record. Then 20-odd minutes later, Estevao from the spot, he takes the record. And then in second half, Tyreek George gets himself on the score sheet to move himself ahead of Mark Guiu and just behind Estevao in the youngest ever scorers. I know it's not a particular popular thing to say, and we always bang on about it, and I bang on about it a lot, about, being focused on the now rather than looking constantly at the future. But it's really hard not to. Many fans don't like it. Many fans don't like thinking too far ahead, but the future does really look bright. We've got some of the most talented young players in the world. We've got brilliant players in the academy. We've bought some brilliant players, and that was again evidence and on show at the Bridge. In terms of the first half, there wasn't an awful lot to shout home about from an Ajax point of view. Kenneth Taylor with the red card, which was upgraded once the ref went to look at the screen. And then literally a minute or so later, we went and scored, got the opener from Mark Guiu. And I was really pleased with the performance of Mark Guiu. Obviously he was subbed at half-time, which means that he's more than likely going to start against Sunderland on Saturday. And he puts himself about. He's a nuisance. He drags players out of position. He creates space for others, and he takes the goal really well. Yes, it's a close-range finish, but he's alert in the box. He gets there, and he bundles it home. And, he looks a really different player to the one which we saw last season on a few occasions in the Conference League and very sparingly in the Premier League. He looks totally different. He looks revitalized. He looks refreshed. He looks a much better version of the player that we signed last summer. And whilst Liam Delap is out, and certainly for this season, Mark Guiu can certainly make a really useful contribution. I would have liked him to have played longer, but, obviously half an hour on the weekend. And I think he's someone that can make a really useful contribution for us whilst Palmer's out, whilst Delap's out. And maybe, people need to start putting a bit more respect on his name. And myself included, I openly admit I'm not a huge Mark Guiu fan, but I've always said he can serve a purpose for us this season, and Maresca's got to use him more. And that's exactly what he's doing in the last 3 games, and long may that continue. In terms of other noticeable performances, I felt Estevao was outstanding again. I don't think a lot of us actually realise how good this kid is. He is an absolute joke. He's outrageous. I remember saying in the summer, look, let's not put too much pressure on him. He's clearly a huge talent, loads of ability, but we've got to make sure that we're not putting him in a position where he's expected to contribute from day one, and we have to be starting him in games from day one. However, the kid is up for the challenge. He's ready. He's adapted very quickly to English football. Yes, there's still things that he needs to work on. Yes, there's still development in his game, but he's electric. The sort of player that you pay money to watch. And every time he gets the ball, he's driving forward. He's taking players on. He's got tricks. He's got skills. There's a reason why he's been touted as the best player to come from Brazil since Neymar. You can see shades of Neymar in him already. I don't want to get carried away too much, but him and Lamine Yamal are the two best teenage footballers on the planet. And it's not even close. The two outstanding talents. And I would have loved that bicycle kick to have gone in the second half, but it went just wide. And do you know what as well? For the penalty, it was brilliant, you know. And it was great leadership from Enzo Fernandez as well in that situation to give the penalty to Estevao. We've seen in previous years where players have been fighting over penalties, but it was great to see Enzo as a captain step aside, give the penalty to Estevao and allow him to get his first Champions League goal for the club. So fair play to him. But this kid is an absolute superstar. He's outstanding. He is so, so good. And look, we've got to manage him carefully. He probably won't start on Saturday, having played the full game against Ajax. So, yeah, he's going to be managed. And we just got to enjoy him because he is an absolute joy to watch. And he's already a fan favourite, having been here for less than 10 football matches. So, yeah, he's going to have some career in blue. And I can't wait to see it unfold. But moving to the other flank, there was a man of the match performance from Jamie Gittens. And Gittens actually broke a record set by Eden Hazard. According to Squawker, Jamie Gittens is the youngest Chelsea player on record since the 2003-04 season to create 5+ chances in a Champions League match, a record previously held by Eden Hazard. Now, I actually felt that Estevao was better than Gittens in this game, but this was a good performance from Jamie Gittens. You know, he was direct. He was creating opportunities. He was taking his man on. And that's more of what we want to see from Gittens. And Gittens is, look, clearly a confidence player. It's been a disappointing start to his Chelsea career based on what we've seen so far. But hopefully he can take real positives from his performance, take confidence into the game against Sunderland, where he'll probably be on the bench, I'd imagine. Or he might start. I don't know. But hopefully he can take confidence into that performance and show, you know, that he can do it in the Premier League, that he can do it against a better caliber of opposition. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time, but you can see that the raw attributes are there. You can see that the qualities are there. It's about unlocking them on a consistent basis. And this was an impressive performance from him, an opportunity that he absolutely deserved from the start. And we just got to keep backing this guy. We just got to keep supporting him and just got to keep hoping that he can produce the goods. His confidence grows. He gets more comfortable. He adapts more to English football. But this was a massive positive step in the right direction for Jamie Gittens and a well-deserved man of the match award for the youngster. Another youngster, Tyreek George, scoring as well in the second half. I mean, a bit of a deflected strike, but again, he looked useful when he came on. And it's really exciting to see so many young players making such a big impact for Chelsea on the Champions League stage. You know, this wasn't like an unbelievable performance. This was a routine win. This was something that we expected. This is something that we needed to do. And it now puts us in a situation where we're building some momentum. We're building some consistency. That's now 4 wins in a row in all competitions. You go to Sunderland on Saturday. There's a chance to make it 5 wins on the spin in all competitions. You get to build some momentum. You're building some confidence. You're getting that winning mentality amongst the group and amongst the team. We've got a real opportunity here to put a good run together and solidify our position in the Champions League and solidify our position in that top 4, top 3 of the Premier League. Maresca made brilliant use of the squad in this game, and that's something that I've been calling for on a number of occasions. Maresca needs to make better use of the squad, needs to use more of the players that are at his disposal. He did that against Ajax. I'm sure we're going to see many more changes for the game against Sunderland. Then we'll see many more changes for the Carabao Cup tie against Wolves next week as well. But this was routine. This was standard. This was what the doctor ordered. 5 goals, easy night, giving players a rest. And yeah, there is plenty to look forward to for the remainder of the campaign. This was an important win, by the way, because I don't think we realised we've got tough games in the Champions League. We head to Karabag next. We've got Barcelona at home, 2 away games against Napoli and Atalanta, not easy, and then also we finish at home to Paphos. So, you know, this was a must-win game, and we showed up. We got the job done. We were professional. We scored a load of goals, and yeah, we can be very, very happy with our night's work. But yeah, Estevao, Gittens, superb. Lavia looking good in the midfield. Enzo again, Caicedo. All in all, a pretty good night for everyone. There wasn't anyone on that pitch that I looked at and thought, oh, God, they weren't that great. Everyone was good across the board. The manager got everything spot on with the substitutions. And yeah, we put our feet up, we rest, we recover, and we move on to Sunderland on Saturday, guys. That's just my thoughts on the game. Make sure you smash up the like, subscribe if you're new around here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Can Chelsea win the Champions League? Who knows? But yeah, guys, I'll catch you again in another one soon. Love for the support as always. Up the Chelsea, and we're out. Peace.